Hey guys, welcome to It Figures, episode 180.
I'm on the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry, we can wait.
Well, yes, I would tell like Time Life magazine. Sign me up. Take I go.
They make a Time Life magazine?
Mm-hmm.
Because they used to make Life, and I know they make Time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize they had a Time Life.
You're out of the loop.
Does it taste like regular Life or Cinnamon Life?
You're out of the loop. Anyways, so I was at the Toy Man show with Scotty Cash and
you're the best friend in the whole world?
with Duvall. And Pixel Dan was there. And
But he wasn't with you.
Yeah, he didn't come with us, but we saw him.
He's too good for that.
We talked, you know. But I bought this phone. This is an actual working phone. And, of course, it's obviously, it looks like a Lego phone. It's actually a Tyco phone from the 80s. Now, if you remember, Tycos were one of the very first competitors to Lego. So they would be like today's Mega Bloks, except they were way better than the Mega Bloks stuff that's out.
Why were they better than Mega Bloks?
Because they were very, very close to being Lego. I mean, they were a good knockoff. Okay, so yeah, this is actually a Tyco phone, but it's
Were they a better knockoff than Enlighten?
No, actually, the Chinese knockoffs of today, like these Enlighten companies, they are what I thought Tyco was.
This is Lego, everybody. Well, this is fake Lego, everybody.
Yeah, it's brick. So, anyways, this is my phone, and it actually works. It's dial tone. You can push the numbers, and it rings. It's awesome. So this is one of my good finds, and I bought some random loose Lego figures, but this was the thing I was most excited about.
If only they made an adapter that, like Bluetooth, you could plug into that so it would work with your cell phone.
Well, the only problem this phone does, it doesn't have caller ID, like I was telling you, but I know you can get those caller ID boxes, and I was thinking about ripping one apart and building a little Lego box next to this and having caller ID.
Well, it does have mute and redial.
Yeah, the thing about the mute is you have to hold the mute down. If you want it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then when you let go of the mute, that's when it's off. So it's a, and I guess back in the 80s, that's maybe how it was. You had to actually hold the mute button down. But I love it. Love it. And what's funny is the guy had, like, I was walking by a booth, and I saw this sitting there on the guy's booth, but he had a sign on it for somebody else. And he goes, "Oh, you see that Lego phone over there?" And I was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's kind of cool." And he's like, "I'll hold it from somebody, but I'll sell it to you." And I was like...
Man, people at the Toy Man show are the dirtiest.
And I was just like, well, I don't know. How much do you want for it? And then he was like, I think he said $45. And I was like, I don't know. And you know what? Honestly, it's a good price for this, but I was thinking, that seems like a lot of money. $45 just seems like a lot of money. And then I was like, no, I'll think about it. I'll let you know. And he's like, you know what? Here, I tell you, I bought it for $40. I could knock it down to $42. And I was just like, at first I was thinking, that's the weirdest price drop ever. $42. But then he was like, told me, oh, it's great, it works, blah, blah, blah. I was just looking at it, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. He talked me into it. And I'm actually really glad I did buy it, because I was looking on eBay, and these things are pretty pricey. So, yay.
It looks to be in fairly good shape. It just needs to be wiped down.
Yeah, it's a little dusty. It's a little dusty. Got a little bit of grime on it, but...
Got some schmutz on it.
And it's not even the best, like... Obviously, they wanted you to know it was a Lego phone, because they used the dumbest colors. You know what I mean?
Wait, you don't want a rainbow keypad?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if you were to build something out of Legos, you would
just
undoubtedly
like
use rainbow bricks.
Which rectangular bricks do I have? Just use them.
Yeah, but whatever. It's cool. I'm going to add some stuff to it. I'm going to build a little castle on top of it or something.
All right, then. Quick update. The It Figures 178 Power Rangers contest, we now have like 9 entries.
Oh, wow.
So that actually kind of blew up over the last couple days. So it's time to start reading through those and pick a winner. Although we're probably not going to do that here on the air tonight. But for next week, we'll probably announce the winner next week.
Well, we were supposed to announce the winner this week.
Well, did you read any of those?
No. Totally forgot about it.
And
But-
Scotty's not here.
But I'm
And this is
sure
part of Scotty's thing.
we can just read them and then we'll just pick.
Well, you want to read them tonight?
Yeah. What else are we gonna do?
Okay. Well, let's do some of the quick news stories here. First up, from DC Collectibles, we have 2 new 3 3/4 inch figure packs. These are both based off the Injustice games, the Mortal Kombat ripoff game, and you've got one pack here that is Wonder Woman and Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is a little bit bigger. He's
Like an inch taller.
yeah, because he's a bigger dude. But
That's
that looks.
what she said.
But this is due in April. I'm not sure when the game is coming out. I know the game is probably delayed from its original.
And it's not
release.
a knockoff game. It's
The people who make Mortal Kombat are making a standalone DC fighting game based on the same engine.
when they made Mortal Kombat vs. DC, it was technically that game. They just decided that maybe people like the superheroes and they're getting tired of Mortal Kombat, so
Yeah.
Well,
And they did make a standalone Mortal Kombat after.
of course they
So,
did. They do that
yeah.
every day.
So anyway, that's the first 2-pack. Now they do have a second 2-pack that they also showed off, and this is Green Arrow versus Deathstroke.
Or Deadpool.
No, Deathstroke.
Same guy.
No, completely different guy.
Same guy.
No, completely different. Because Deadpool is insane and talks to himself and has voices in his head, and he once filled an entire pool with pancakes because he was afraid someone was going to fall through the skylight. And then you know what happened? Someone fell through the skylight. So it's a good thing he made all those pancakes.
Yeah, so now who's the idiot?
Anyway, these sets set for April, they are set at $29.95, which is a little high.
That is super
but this kind of follows what DC Collectibles has been doing with 3 3/4 inch figures. They made some Comic-Con exclusive ones. You had to go to some specific shows to get the 2-packs. And they were mostly, I think, Green Lantern figures both times, but they sold pretty well. Those were $26.99, I think. So these are bumped up a little bit higher, but these will be going through different distribution channels as opposed to those that were con exclusives. So a couple extra bucks to get them out there and into store shelves. But anyway, I'm looking forward to them. I'm definitely going to buy the one with Deathstroke. I'm not sure about the one with Wonder Woman.
Oh, Deadpool.
Deathstroke.
So you're going to pay $30 for 2 3 3/4 figures. That's very high.
Yeah, but they look super cool.
And it's DC Direct, and which means those things will be on
Actually-
clearance at some point.
Well, yeah, I might get them through Diamond.
Uh-huh.
Get them on clearance through Diamond. But look at the level of detail on those. Those are really incredible looking. This is the new. It's DC Collectibles. DC Direct has kind of been revamped and removed, and they've hired new people, and they've been really working to make a higher quality product. They kind of realized for a while that things just weren't working out the way they wanted to, and so they've really been pushing to revamp it.
Well, the problem was they kept putting out the same things over and over and over and over, constantly.
Yeah, well, that's what the toy industry does.
What?
Yeah, I know, weird, right? All right, next up. The Gears of War 3 3/4 inch figures. You were kind of excited when we were talking about those last time.
Yeah, they're cool.
They have a prototype figure tweeted by NECA of their Dom. You know who Dom is? D-O-M?
Yeah, he's a guy.
Okay. Well, that guy, they've got the prototype version of that figure available, so you can see the level of detail and articulation in it, and it looks pretty good.
They tweeted. Ooh, what is this tweeter thing?
That's the new part of the internet. I gotta learn about that.
Can I tweet on this? I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know. Do they do like a recognition? Can you dial into a number and then hit the... Anyway.
I don't know. I don't use it. You use it. You're a tweeter.
Anyway, I'm touting now. I've been touting.
I don't even know what that means.
That means 15-second video clips. So it's not a text, it's not a tweet, it's a tout.
Yeah, that'll catch
So
up.
anyway, so you can get an idea of that. But again, 3 3/4 inch figure looks really good. Then, Jazzwares, their Mortal Kombat 3 3/4 inch line is still continuing. People thought it was ending and had been canceled, but it is not. They have new figures out there. First up is this 2-pack of Goro versus Johnny Cage. Goro stands about 5 inches tall because he's taller than the regular characters. Johnny Cage is the regular 3 3/4 inch figure. It's the battle damage variant version of Johnny Cage. It's available now at Toys R Us. Here's the kicker though: $27.99 for this 2-pack.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
From Jazzwares. Now, see, from DC Direct, DC Collectibles, the $29.99, because it was a much higher quality figure, but Jazzwares had so many problems with quality on their, especially their 3/3
to
line.
be fair, just looking at this picture, it does look better than their previous releases, but that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money for that.
Like, I don't, they...
That should be like a $14.99 pack.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jazzwares has lost my trust. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's excessively high. Wow.
Especially considering it's from them. Like, if it was, Hasbro doing a special Marvel Universe 2-pack that was something,
no, not even
limited
for
or
a
anything.
2-pack of those kind of figures. That's high.
Well, it is high, and they were high. Allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly.
We got to say that. You have to say that. Unless you're in Colorado.
And they
or
killed
Washington,
a man.
Then you don't have to say that.
They killed somebody in cold blood. Allegedly. All right. Next up, we've got more Walking Dead mini-mates. This is an Amazon exclusive set. This is going to be Michonne in the way she looked in her first appearance in the comic book, as well as Rick in his prison jumpsuit outfit, and pretty beat up and road weary, and then a couple of zombies. And this is let's see, was there a price? I don't remember seeing a price point on this. But basically, this 4-pack is an Amazon exclusive, which Amazon did this with Mini-Mates a couple times. The one that we remember most is the Ghostbusters 4-pack of monsters. That was such an exclusive to Amazon and sold so well, it ended up on the Diamond Comics distribution liquidation list.
Yeah, that thing is everywhere. So I hope that goes for the same. Because I wouldn't mind owning that set.
Yeah, well, I especially like the Michonne. And she does come with a couple swords. The zombies look cool.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind, for the first time, I wouldn't mind a mini pack as just the zombies. Because they're kind of cool looking.
And I do like one of the promotional pics they have with her cutting the guy's head off. And you can see the ball joint on the figure. And they actually just pop the head off. Made a nice little scene there. Anyway, that's pretty cool. One piece of news we got. New startup toy company. This is Good Leg Toys. A couple of guys overseas. I want to say they're in Germany, but they very well could be the Netherlands. I don't remember. But regardless, they are starting a new toy line called the War on Prehiss. And basically the idea is they wanted to come up with some sort of like crazy toy. They're looking at toys out there today on the marketplace, and everything seems just so like bland, and everything is like a ripoff of something else and whatever. So they wanted to come up with something crazy. So they got this idea of like these dinosaurs on this planet who become super intelligent, and the humans are the animals out in the outback, and then there's some sort of apocalyptic event, and so they're in like this wasteland, and the dinosaurs, in order to survive, have to like cybernetically juice themselves up, kind of like Dino Riders. And they take the humans, and they take their corpses and reanimate them into zombies, and then add cybernetic upgrades to them. So you've got cybernetic dinosaurs and cybernetic zombies, and the zombies are the frontline warriors for the dinosaurs. You follow that? You got that?
You know a lot about that for some reason.
Well, I've been talking to them online a bit about it. They also sent us some promotional pics. The first pic is this is a dinosaur work in progress where they basically took an old like Godzilla figure and have been modifying it just to get an idea of what they want. They used some sculpted clay and whatever to work out some of the cybernetic pieces, and it's just, kind of like building up a work in progress. They've got another picture which they took kind of the old Remco, Masters of the Universe, WCW type style figure, and they've been working with this, sculpting those, trying to get an idea for the zombies. And that guy's got an epic beard, and that's fantastic. Just to get an idea of what it's going to look like, again, just kind of going through and sculpting on top of it and getting the idea across. And then finally, they've got one of their first resin cast figures, where they just basically, take some resin and throw it in a mold and try to get an idea of how it's actually going to work and the articulation points. So like the picture that they show, this blue guy, like his shoulder's a little loose. That's just because they haven't, adjusted yet for the way it's going to fit and how things shrink in the molds and how they react and whatever. But they just kind of cast it in blue and put some paint on it, and there you can get, again, basic idea of what it's going to look like. So that's kind of the thing they're shooting for, and it's two guys, working on this, and this is pretty good progression from what they have so far. And they've got some pretty neat stuff that they're working on. So I'm looking forward to see some more of this stuff.
Doesn't even look like a zombie.
Well, that if you see like his skull cap,
Mm-hmm.
if you flip it around to the back is actually open, and you can see the brains.
So he's a Frankenstein.
Whatever.
Not really a zombie. And that figure just looks retarded.
Well, he's blue.
Okay.
They had blue, so they
and
did.
his face is like a retard.
They had like the tubes. The tubes are coming out from the sides and into his face.
It's like a
and,
Skeletor body and like a head they took with a hammer and mangled.
Well, but again, it's just an idea of getting kind of the idea together of, how pieces fit and how it's sculpted. And
yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm just describing the pictures.
Prototype. Well, they should be seeing the pictures.
What if they're listening on iTunes or something?
Well, then that's their mistake. You listen on iTunes, you don't get the pictures. iTunes sucks. What can we say?
Boom.
Boom diggity. All right. What do you want to do first, Fan Corner or the Power Rangers stories?
Oh, man. How many fan corner questions we got? 4. Let's just do fan corners. Let's just do that first.
No, wait. This is the Fan Corner.
Oh, whoa. 10.
Yeah, they're both big tonight.
Let's do the fan corner and make sure we get through it first.
Okay, Fan Corner.
We'll just do it fast.
All right. Started out by Megaduce Flare beating Clone Yoshi again this week. He says, this is for whoever's there. If there was an action figure line from a property that you didn't expect to have action figures from, say Gone with the Wind or Casablanca, for example, would you buy them, even if only for the novelty of it?
Yeah, I've done stuff like that. I bought Ronald McDonald figures or the Burger King figure.
Actually, I was at some store downtown, and they had the Jesus and Einstein action figures, so I bought those.
Of course you did.
Because it's like, why not?
Well, you never know when you need a Jesus in your Undead Army.
Oh, and I've got the John McCain figure from 2008.
Wow. We understand why you got that.
So Chuck Norris approved. So yeah, I mean, when you see something weird like that, I mean, it really depends on price.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna pay more than $10 or something for one of these random things.
It's gotta be cheap.
But yeah, you see something fun like that, and just to throw it on your shelf, then why not? Clone Yoshi. Hey guys, what do you think of different holiday variants and toy lines, like some of the Star Wars Christmas figures, and would you want more lines to do Christmas-based toys? I don't know about Star Wars, but I like the Batman ones that they've been doing.
Well, Lego
the Halloween and the Christmas ones.
Lego always does I think this year's one of the workshops, and I think last year was the post office or whatever. I might get that reversed. But
are they holiday variants?
Yeah, they're just specifically Santa. They're Christmas themed.
Well, no, but I mean, did they take a set that had previously been released?
No.
Yeah.
No. They don't vary. I guess not variant, but they do make special sets for the fact. Would I like it? Maybe.
Because with Star Wars, they'll do Yoda in a Santa hat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they did release Darth Maul in a Santa hat in the Advent calendar they released this year. And it was,
in the mini figs?
And they just took the Lego Darth Maul.
Do you like that? I mean, you like the Lego minifigs anyway.
I like them anyways. I don't like having to buy a whole Advent calendar to get that figure. That's a problem.
But do you like the idea of them doing something silly like that, where it makes absolutely no sense for the character?
Yeah, I would buy them, but they would have to be an impulse bag of just the figure itself, and maybe a little something in it for $5 or something. I don't want to buy a whole set for it though. There's no way.
All right, Henrik108 says, hey guys, most of the toy reviewers out there seem to be very points of articulation happy.
Yeah, they do.
What figure has the record of the amount of articulation?
That's a good question.
I don't really know what would have the record. I mean, if you want to say just points of articulation, there's lots of figures that have all the little fingers move individually.
I think on average,
lots of mechs with tiny little pieces.
Yeah, I think on average the Play Arts figures have the most on that figure.
I was gonna say those or the Revoltech line of figures. Those have a lot of points.
Like 64 points or something like that.
I think it's the Revoltech line.
Yeah. So I think 64 is about the highest.
But I mean, those are people. If you want to look at some of the mechs, I mean, they can put as many points of articulation as they want on a mech. Because they can just add extra stuff.
Although, when we're reviewing, there's not much to say. You're like, oh, it's a figure. It's got an arm. It's got a leg. So one of the points that you make is how many points of articulation does it have?
It's-
And it doesn't really matter. It just gives you an idea of how flexible the figure is.
Yeah.
Not so much the number. Who cares?
You do, like, especially if you're doing a review and there's very few points of articulation. Like when we first got the Green Lantern figures based off the movie, and we were like, what the hell is up with this? There's only 5 points. Because it brought down the quality of the figure. So you wanted to make a point of it. If they've got tons of points of articulation, you want to make a point of it because it can go any which way. But if it's a figure where you don't really have a lot to talk about anyway, you go, it's got 16 points of articulation. Because that's 10 more seconds of something you can say in the review just to pad it out a little bit more. So you're not doing like a minute and a half review of something. It's the same as when people talk about the package. You know, they can just go like this. Here's the front. Here's the back. Let's open it up. But instead they go, well, here's the front, and you can see they've got the logo up here in the corner, and then they've got the image of it, and they've got some writing here and some writing down the side. And then if you take a look at the back, and it's like you don't have to explain all that, but it pads it out and makes it a little bit longer.
Yeah, otherwise you have a really fast review because honestly, yeah, look at it. There you go.
Most toy reviews could very easily be, here's the front, here's the back, arms up, arms down. Here's how he looks to the one that came out last year. Thanks for watching the end. And that'd
probably be easier. Let's just do that.
But yeah, so anyway. He goes on to say, I like the old days when there was no articulation on your toys. Here's a lump of wood. Go play with it. Ha ha ha. But he's a NECA / McFarlane kind of guy.
Oh.
See, I hate McFarlane for not having articulation. Those are in-action figures.
Ooh.
I've never been a fan of the McFarlane.
Well, he is a fan of the no articulation. He did say previously.
Yeah.
He did preface it with that. So I think you understand.
Regardless, I like to play with my toys.
What?
So I want them to have, because my wife will make fun of me because I will lay on the floor of the TV room after the kids go to bed and be like, pew, pew, pew. I'm going to save you. You shut up. Just like drunk Billy Madison. That's what I do.
Shampoo is better.
The penguin. All right, Sun Adam 9 says, hey guys, my question is for Scotty Cash. Are you going to get the add-on Zords of the Megaforce Megazord? If so, which ones?
He's not here, so ask
But
him.
I actually texted him.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. And I asked him, and he said yes, he will get all of them that he can find.
Of course he will.
So, yes, he's going to get them, and he will get any of them he can get his hands on. Mm-hmm. All right, TMC 1984 says he's got a question for the Lord this week. Killen. Here, this is his voice. Killen, what's your biggest seller this Christmas in terms of toys?
Wow, I probably should have.
Probably should have read this in advance.
Well, here, thought about.
I'll read the second part of his question while you
Okay,
think
go
about
ahead.
it. Second part says, I know the Trash Pack Series 3 are hitting the UK next week, and I can see those just flying off the shelves as folks are going to want to pick them up in time for Christmas.
I think.
Do you think Trash Pack is the biggest seller this Christmas in terms of toys?
I don't know. I don't think we ever carry Trash Pack, but I don't imagine it would sell amazingly well. Only because that it's been on Toys R Us shelves for so long now. I will say we did blow through all the Ninja Turtle stuff this holiday season.
The Nickelodeon and the classics.
And literally, it sat here. We had Series 1, and we had all the figures and stuff, and vehicles. And it sat here, and sat here, and sat here. And right before Christmas, November through beginning of December, all of it went, like, instantly. Everything. Every little piece we had, no matter what it was. Even the dumb, like, FX talking turtles, those are gone.
The Raphael on the skateboard or whatever that one was.
Yeah, so that was just, it was really bizarre that it sold that quick and all together. And, like, in a matter of 2 days, we sold every piece we had. And it was just like, what?
And if you walk into a lot of stores like Toys R Us and you go to the section, there will be a couple Shredders and a bunch of Aprils, and all the turtles will be gone.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of weird, and I think that so far that's been I guess maybe because we just had so much of it, that was the biggest seller for us this year. And of course now all of a sudden the Walking Dead stuff's starting to move a little bit, so that may, by the time it's all over said, you know.
Yeah, but you didn't order as many of that as the turtles, and the turtles are gone. So
yeah, I mean honestly, I didn't order anything special for this holiday season. I just ordered what I would have ordered anyway. So I don't know. That's the only toy I could think of that's been going in spurts. Everything else is just completely random what sells here in the store.
yeah. All right, next up is Falcon Hood. Who do you want to see on the new TMNT show in Line of Toys? Any classic characters you want to see? I'd like to see them do a new Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh, a pizza.
Usagi Yojimbo.
I want a pizza face. I want a pizza face.
I'd like to see Usagi, however you pronounce it.
I just like pizza. So I like pizza face.
One nerd says, I consider myself a good enough guy. I always try to do the right thing and help others in need as best I could, but until recently I've never participated in the Toys for Tots program. So I thought, since everything is going a lot better for me lately, I thought I would finally participate and donate a complete set of turtle figures from the new TMNT line.
Wow.
So I wanted to ask you all, are you participating in some kind of toy donation this year? And if so, what are you going to, or what have you donated?
Well, as you know, the Toys for Tots program is ran by the United States Marine Corps Reserve. And bam, this is a Marine emblem. I am, in fact, a Marine. So yes, I do participate every year. And what I do, I mean, it's nice that you donated like a whole set of those toys, because obviously that's going to work out great for somebody. What I usually do is I go through the dollar stores and I buy just a ton of the dollar toys and I dump them all into the bin. And the only reason I do that is because I feel like you can help more and give more that way than just giving, you know, one or two toys here and there. And I really look for value for the price. So you know, I know I may only spend $2 or $3 for each toy I buy, but I'll buy the one that has like 50 army men in one pack in the sets, and I'll buy a ton of those because you know, when I was little, it wasn't how much I got; it was what I actually got.
When the quality was the quantity.
Yeah, and more little guys in a package was like a bigger deal than getting 10 other things that I really didn't care about. So I just kind of use that mentality, and I buy like 20 or 30 of them, and I just dump them in a box.
What we usually do is when we go to like CVS or Walgreens or something, they usually have like a holiday section in the middle of the store, and they'll have like Transformers or G.I. Joe figures or stuff generally that was like hot last year, and it kind of fell out of Toys R Us and Walmart. Now it's at CVS, and it's like, you know, you buy two, you get one free, or, you know, whatever type of deal. And usually I'll let the kids pick out some of that stuff, and then, you know, we take it and dump it in the Toys for Tots bin. One year at Walmart, they have the Angel Tree, where they would have kids who were like in foster homes or whatever write something they wanted. And so my wife and I actually just grabbed a couple angels off the Angel Tree and just bought stuff. We ended up buying a bike for like a little 6-year-old girl. No idea who she was, never met her, anything like that, but it was like, let's buy her a bicycle.
Well, we're doing that actually at our mall. They have the Tree of Wishes, and we've already done it once, and we decided when we turned it in that we were going to go. And we actually bought this little 5-year-old girl a Monster High Create Your Own Monster kit. And then now, when we went back, all they had were adults and teenagers and like elderly people. So we found a 16-year-old girl, and she, you know, now she wants. It's like when you get to the kids, like I want to buy all the kids stuff because it's great. They have, you know, they're not crazy about what they can get. They only want certain toys. When you get to the adults, they got like, I want an Xbox 360. I want iTunes card. I'm like, how are you on the Tree of Wishes and you need iTunes cards? Like, how do you have an iPod? So, you know what I mean? Because you need a computer really to have that. Like, you're not doing too bad. You're doing all right. Sell your iPod.
Well, yeah, but like foster kids, you know, teenage kids.
So we decided, we turned one in and we're like, let's just grab another one while we're here. And then we're flipping through it and we're like, oh, what's left is these teens. And our daughter's picking the names out, and she only wants a girl. I was like, go pick some of the boys out. I got kinds of stuff in the store. I can throw some in there and we get done. So we get a teenager, and so now we had to buy a bunch of makeup crap and stuff like that. But what the funniest part was, I was flipping through one, and it was a 14-year-old girl, and what her want was, she would like a bra, like it was like a 38D. I was like, for a 14-year-old girl? It's like, can you imagine going into the Victoria's Secret, like, yeah, I need a 38D bra. Yeah, I'm buying it for a 14-year-old girl.
Not to wear, she just wants to start slingshotting watermelons across the
I was just like, oh my God, you know? So, yeah, there's a little funny side story. Anyway, so I bought the bra and turned it in. No.
And you're wearing it now.
I'm creep size. I didn't give it to her, you know, make sure it's good quality.
Let me try it on for you.
Yeah.
All right, Doubler 2000. He really enjoyed episode 178. It's one of his favorites in a long time.
Oh, wow.
My question is there any chance of a holiday reunion show? Any special guests for the show? Or maybe some of your friends who are also into toys? I think, as far as I know, it's just going to be the four of us. Maybe three because intern Rick's a little flaky.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all going to get him something, but then on the day of the show, oh man, my dog totally needs to go for a walk, and I ate a taco at lunch, so I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah. Well,
which he does, which is why he's not here.
Yeah, that's not too far off from why he wouldn't be here. But, no, actually, I had thought about this when we were in the car with Duvall, and I was just like, yeah, maybe we can bring Duvall back for an episode or something. But then it occurred to me that, we're kind of running low on time. We're not going to have time. Like, we can't go have him come in. We're all exchanging gifts, and I'm like, oh well, I guess something for Duvall.
Here, I bought you a hat at Foot Locker.
And then Duvall's got to be like, oh, I didn't have time either. So it's like we already had it set up how we're going to do it, so we're just going to do it the way we're going to. But maybe in future episodes we can.
Maybe he'll be back in time for Valentine's Day, and the two of you can make out.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. Stay tuned. We'll see.
All right. Nasty Will says, hey guys, are there any import toys you really want, but they cost too much for you to buy? I would love to have some of the hot toys like the Batman and I know the Marvel movie figures. P.S. I'm on a podcast called The Terror Troop and the Horror Palace Network.
Wow, that's random.
If you want about the Toy Hunter show I was on, hit me up on my Twitter page, Nasty Will DC. Follow me for the scoop.
I did watch your episode of Toy Hunter, and my God, you have I don't know if that was set up or not, but you have a lot of crazy toys in your collection just stacked up. And I was just like, what?
Oh, like not on display, just in piles?
Well, in his house, he just had like these big old stacks of toys, but he sold the Toy Hunter some A-Team and original box stuff. Like, it had the van, the jet, the car. And I was just like, what? And he just kept pulling stuff out. I'm like, what? So I was just like, pretty impressed with your stuff there, Nasty Will.
They're those Tron figures from Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance, and they did two figures, and I didn't play the games, so they're not Tron characters, but they're characters from the games in Tron suits, but they're each like retail price is like $69.99 a piece or something like that. So I can't order both of those. So I ordered one. I just kind of looked at both of them and was like, that guy. And so I'm getting one, but not the other, just because paying that I can pay that much for one and just have that one neat collectible, but to buy both of them, I really can't. I'm just hoping Diamond might have it on clearance at some point in the future.
Yeah, I do. The only imports I buy are Chinese knockoffs, if that counts. So
like the Enlightened gun.
And technically they're really cheap to buy, but the shipping and importing is a little costly.
Yeah. When you added everything up, you're like, oh my gosh, this is only this much. This is amazing. Shipping is $300. What the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough to get stuff shipped in.
If you get one piece at a time, it's pretty cheap generally.
Yeah,
but once you start ordering like a case of something,
I had to justify the cost. I was like, well, I really only paid this for that, so if I add the shipping into it, it only really makes it this cost, And I was like trying to justify.
So you have to do more with as expensive as it is. It's like if you order one or two, then it's justified. If you order 50 or 60, it's justified. But if there's like 10 pieces of something, it's really not justified. It's like I either have to pare it down or I just have to get everything.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's rough. But I do it anyways.
All right. Orko, he says, first up, I want to say this week's news desk was the best one ever.
Actually, he said news desk.
He meant desk, and we know that. That's because I had the Pop Culture Network thing that he made up on the shelf behind me, so everybody can see it.
Oh, I just found the one that he sent us a while back.
Yeah, it's on the shelf back there? Yeah, because I just set it back there because I used it. I filmed the episode here this weekend.
What a jerk.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. I'm sure I've asked this before, and if so, my bad. But if you guys had a time machine, what are 3 different times you would go to and why? Okay, let's see. Birth of Jesus, assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
Why?
Okay, well, birth of Jesus, because I want to see how it actually played out. Because I don't believe the winter thing. I believe the springtime thing.
First of all, they're going to be like, who's the fat guy in glasses and the hat over there, the Tron hat? What's he doing?
Yes, because I would obviously just start walking around like this.
Well, what do you got, like period clothing? wear? I mean, come on.
Well, you just grab a bed sheet and wrap it around yourself, act like you're poor.
You still look pretty bizarre. He's got a clean sheet.
Roll around in the sand a few times.
Because all people back then are dirty.
Assassination of Lincoln, because I think he was probably an android, and I want to double check that. Either that or he was an alien, I'm not sure. But there was something up with that dude, and I want to get to the bottom of that conspiracy. And then the third time, I would go 40 years in the future, because I want to see what it's like.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to go too far out that like everybody's speaking like in clicks and hums, and I have no idea how to communicate with them. And I don't want to go like 3 years where it's like, oh look, everything looks exactly the same except American Idol's still on. But you know, I want to go far enough that I can see some differences.
Okay.
And maybe get some stock tips.
Here we go. I want to go back into the Roman times and just kind of see Rome in his glory. Probably time of the Nero, because apparently on any Roman TV show or movie you ever see, everybody's just having sex all the time. So I want to go there and see how that plays out. Number two, and hopefully they can subtitle or speak English to me. And number two, I would like to go to the 1920s and become a bank robber, because apparently it was easy as crap to rob the crap out of people, and I would just be a notorious robber, and I'd just be smarter than
a notorious robber.
Yeah, Robber. 2 bits. And then, I don't know, I would go back into the early 80s and relive the glory of all the toys and the world of Nintendo and all that stuff that I miss, and just kind of sit in the toy store all day going, oh my God, look at all this awesomeness. And then if I could bring some of that back and sell it and make crazy money, that'd be great.
Fine profit.
Well, I mean, obviously I have to fill my collection, but then I would also bring back sealed cases and...
Well, I mean, and that goes along with what Orko said, because he himself, he would want to go to the 40s for the old-timey comics, go to the 60s for the original Marvel books, and 80s for the original Masters toys, which he'd snatch them up, bring them back, and sell them huge profit.
For sure.
All right. Riordan, Riordan, or Riordan?
No, you had it second time.
Riordan?
Yes.
He says, hey guys, can you please provide any tips for someone who is attending C2E2? Is it worth it to pre-order tickets? Because there are only 2 guests listed as coming to the show so far. Also, do guests charge a fee for autographs? Thanks for your help. Depends on which guests you're talking about. If you're talking about like the comic people who are there, then no, you can just walk up to the Marvel booth, the DC booth, walk up to them in Artist Alley, whatever, and just get a signature. If you're talking about like when Adam West is there, or you know the guy who's in the background of Battlestar Galactica,
the entertainment section of the Comic-Con is all cash.
it is. You have to buy a ticket to get in line, and then sometimes if you want them to sign a specific item, it charges extra. If you want them to sign a photograph, you have to buy the photograph from them that they sign. So yeah, a lot of times it gets really expensive. You're going to pay like $45 to have Adam West sign a photograph. You know what I mean? It's not cheap at all. But if you want to go and meet wrestling superstar Virgil, you can just walk right up to that guy's table. You know, and if you buy a photo from him for the $5, he will talk to you for a half hour about how big a douchebag everybody was in WCW. So, I mean, there you go. That's where your money and your time is well spent.
Yeah, and you probably should pre-order tickets. Why not? Sometimes you might get bonuses for doing so.
And sometimes you get a deal.
Like and I know there may only be 2 people listed, but it's going to be full house, and it's going to be good. It always is every year, and it's getting better every year. So they tend to get everybody booked late because this is in April.
Well, and the other thing is you don't want to book too far in advance because life happens in between now and then, and some star doesn't want to be like, oh yeah, I can be there, and then 2 weeks beforehand they're like, oh, I have to have a hernia operation. I forgot to tell you about that. I remember 6 months ago. You know.
Yeah, because I think last year a lot of the people in the last like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before then started filling up the list really fast because they didn't show many people, you know. But you better believe almost everybody in the comic book world is going to be there. That's possible. And then as far as entertainment, all the mainstays are going to be there. You know, all the Virgil, and you know, there's obviously going to be. I mean, I don't know if you'll get Stan Lee, but you'll probably get like, William Shatner might be there. It's a good possibility. Stuff like that.
And some
all
of the
your
guys,
sci-fi peoples.
Yeah, if there's like actors and actresses from The Walking Dead, then they're gonna be ones you're gonna have to pay money for. But if it's like Stan Lee, a lot of times it's not that you have to pay money necessarily. You have to get in a line and stand there for 4 hours before you're going to be able to walk up and have him sign something.
I mean, just go look at the other Comic Cons that have just ended. Generally, those people are on a circuit and they're traveling to all the cons.
The guys who do C2E2 are the same ones who do like New York Comic Con, so you can look at New York Comic Con and get a basic idea. Because they're going to do a lot of the same people. And just, hey, we bought you a plane ticket for New York. Let's go to Chicago, type of deal. So that's what to look for with that.
And it's awesome. You should go.
All right.
We'll be there.
Yeah. With bells on.
Ooh.
I'll probably wear my shirt again that says Big Fat Guy.
Ooh.
All right.
Always pimping yourself.
All right. That's going to do it for the fan corner. You want to do this Power Rangers contest?
Oh, yeah. Let's just do it.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Some of these are long.
Jesus.
I'll get to the gist on some of these stories. We'll start at the bottom and work up.
Okay.
Because they're smaller at the bottom. Clone Yoshi has a story.
Okay.
He says, okay, so I got the Deadpool from the X-Men Origins Wolverine comic series, and I was happy because it was my first Deadpool. But when I opened it and moved a little, the head broke off. I never saw the Deadpool in stores again to replace it, and I'd rather not pay twice as much online.
The original Wolverine. Oh, God. Yeah, that Deadpool was very expensive. We had
that was an awesome Deadpool.
Yeah.
At the same time, they did the movie version, which was the crappy one with the mouth sewn up and the big swords on his arms. And nobody wanted that one, but the comic.
I think when we ordered the cases, I think we sold him individually for like $25, and he was gone, like gone.
That was an awesome figure.
All right.
All right, Nasty Will. Hey, Peep. One year, many years ago, I was trying to buy the first G.I. Joe base from this guy. I had to get my peeps to take me to meet up with him to a mall to buy it, and we almost got locked up by the cops because he was buying it in the parking lot.
So
because we was buying it in the parking lot.
Because they thought it was like a drug deal.
They thought it was like a drug deal or some snatch and grab out of the back of somebody's van or something.
That's pretty horrific and funny because had you got arrested and the cops were like, "We got selling." Oh, G.I. Joes.
We're buying this G.I. Joe base. No, really, does it have cocaine in there? Yeah. Really, he's like smashing it open.
Okay, and just so you guys know, this is for the Power Rangers Season 1, Volume 2 DVD set.
From Shout Factory.
These are the contests that we set up about 2 episodes ago, and now we are reading off the entries for the worst story, and then we will award to somebody.
Yeah, I guess it helps if you kind of recap what's going on.
We should probably tell people, in case you weren't aware of the situation.
All right, Falcon Hood. One time I was buying an action figure at Target, and my son, who was about 12 years old then, told the cashier that the toy was mine, not his. Then he told her that I play with them in the bath. I did not know what brought this on, but he told me in the car that he just didn't want people to think it was for him. But why the weird bath lie? I don't know, he said. Be warned, for you who have younger sons, they get even goofier during adolescence.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not so much that that the kid didn't want to be known for having the toy, but then once he lied and said it was for his dad, he had to add to the lie to say that he plays with him in the bathtub.
Yeah, like, I wonder what toy it was, because at 12, who cares? If you were buying like a Spider-Man, no big deal. You had to have been buying like a Monster High toy. And then that's why he was like, look, this is my dad's, and by the way, he's a weirdo, and he plays with them in the bathtub.
It's like the female action figure.
Because that further takes the guilt off of him.
He wanted Tila from the new Masters of the Universe.
Because clearly the lady at Target really was concerned about whose toy it was.
Now, Henrik108 says, I don't want the DVD box, but I'll share a story.
Oh, well, all right then.
All right.
Be that way.
When you were young and there was always a competition between schoolmates after Christmas to see who got the best gifts? Well, one Christmas, me and my brother got an 8-bit Nintendo system. Out of the blue, it was too expensive to even wish for, but we got it. The next day I called my best friend, and in ecstasy I told him what I got. It was a freaking Nintendo. Then he told me all he got from his rich parents. He got a toothbrush that could change color and 10-lined college blocks. What are college blocks? I don't know what a college block is.
Is this a British thing?
Well, he's like Norwegian or something.
Because he said mates, so I'm thinking... Did he say mates or did I just make that up?
Schoolmates.
Okay, schoolmates.
10-lined college blocks.
I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea. Was that a rugby scrum thing?
Scrum? What's a scrum?
Rugby scrum. Well, thanks. I mean, it's great that you got a Nintendo, and the friend who was like always talking about how rich his parents were just got a toothbrush. Sucks to be him.
Here's the deal. You don't win the DVD set, so good thing you didn't want it, because I am not sure what that is.
We don't even know.
Although
what
now
blocks.
I'm really concerned about what are 10-line college
Probably some
blocks.
Norwegian sex toy that weirdo parents give to their kids. I don't know.
But good for you. I'll show him, rich bastard.
All right, Mega Big John 28.
All right.
He says, my most depressing toy buying moment came in the summer of 2003. I've been a Simpsons fan since about 1990, and when I learned they had a figure line out, I started buying them as often as I could find them. The line came out in 1999, and I didn't start buying until the summer of 2003. Well, that summer, I'd met a girl, and we ended up moving in together. One weekend, we went to some garage sales, and I found 3 mint-on-card Mr. Smithers figures on unpunched cards.
That's right.
He was short-packed to want a case, and Walmart even asked Playmates to exclude him from their cases due to Mr. Smithers' alternative lifestyle. The lady didn't really know what she had, so I got all 3 for $20. Well, I also found a Toy Fair mail-away glow-in-the-dark Homer, and I started jumping up and down like a little schoolgirl. Well, fast forward a couple months. Me and the woman I'd been living with hadn't been getting along, and our fighting got really bad one night before I went to work. The next morning, I came home, and she had moved out. That didn't depress me, as what I found in the trash can outside. She had, during the night, opened every single figure I had, which was between 50 and 60, and the play sets, and broke every single one of them apart. She even broke my Mr. Smithers lot and my glow-in-the-dark Homer and put them right on top because they were my favorite. I just now began collecting the line again, and I hope it never happens again.
Oh my God, that is the worst.
Hey, you know, that's what you get for dating crazy chicks.
That's the fear every guy has who is in a relationship that's not like a marriage. Well, even a marriage, where you know like there's a chance something might go bad one day. That is the fear you have. That's why you have to hide your collection.
Listen, don't date crazy, number 1. And 2, why are you moving in together, sinner? Huh?
First of all,
you guys weren't married and you're moving in together?
You know, the first thing that... If you think you may break up or get divorced, you better believe the very first thing I think of, because I thought about this too. I had some rocky times, and the first thing I ever thought was, oh man, she's going to go down there and take all my Legos and open them. Because I have a lot of...
Yeah, I could just see her like standing over the storm drain in the basement and just ripping open the bags and just letting them fly out.
So this is what I've done. Over time, I've downplayed my collection. Like, I don't care about them. There's some boxes, whatever. Like, it's no big deal. That way, if anything ever happens in her mind, it doesn't click, oh, I'm going to mess up his stuff, you know? So she's going to be like, you don't care about that.
It's going to backfire. Someday she's going to be like, oh, I got to clean out in here. Oh, he doesn't care about these. I'll sell them.
Nah, I keep everything out of her way so there's no chance.
All right, Bruiser Brandel, first post. This is a brand new user, came just to enter this contest. So he wants the DVD.
Well, welcome.
Thanks for coming, Bruiser Brandel. He says, this is not a very long story, but I was in Target a long time ago checking out the clearance section, and I found a Klingon disruptor with no price on it. After scanning it and no price came up, I found out who I think was a manager and asked him about it. They took it, and upon returning with it, asked if I really wanted it. I said, yeah, I really want it, and they said it was 64 cents.
What?
I could not believe it, and at least to me, that was awesome. That is awesome. That's one of those toys that like drops off their like inventory. Like, you go to scan it, and it doesn't show up anymore because it's been sitting there so long, and then they just have to put, like, whatever random less than $1 price on it.
How
Same thing happens
possible?
at Toys R Us.
Like, where was it sitting all that time? That
Well, it's like, you know how GameStop will penny stuff out?
Yeah.
And then once it's a penny, all the employees buy it?
Yeah.
It's like Target does the same thing. They penny things out, and then after a certain amount of time, they just drop out of the system. So then it's up to the manager to just put a random price on it under $1, should they still have any still sitting there. But they shouldn't have them because everybody technically should have grabbed them when they were all a penny.
64 cents. That's awesome.
That is awesome. All right, Sun Adam 9 says, last year when Matty Collector was having their Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale, I decided to get the Masters of the Universe Classics Manny Faces figure that was on sale. After 3 days or so, my figure still had a not ship, so I sent them an email asking them when my figure, or why my figure had not shipped yet. After 2 weeks of back and forth with email, I get an email saying that my order had been canceled. They did not say why, only that my order was canceled. That was my first experience with Matty Collector.
I gotta say, that is probably getting off easy. with
You're lucky they didn't charge you for like 50 of the figure.
Yeah, or they just charge you and then shipped it and then charge you again, or charge you an exorbitant amount for shipping or something crazy, or they shipped you the wrong figure and then wanted you to return it and then shipped you something wrong again. I mean, these stories go on and on and on and on, but that actually is a very typical story. So I'm sorry. It does suck, and it had been any other source, it would have been like, oh, that's probably good. But being that it is Matty Collector and Digital River, I'm sorry, not Magic, but Digital River, then that is very typical. And I'm sorry, but your story's lame. only in that context. Only in the context that it's very common for people that have problems with that company. That's all.
All right, Yoda Soup. I have an aunt who likes to give gifts that are funny and sometimes inappropriate.
Awesome.
As a kid, I liked toys that grew in water. You know, the time of put in the water, watch it grow to 100 times the size type of toy. On my 12th birthday, in front of all my friends, I unwrapped my gift from my aunt to reveal a grow in the water tiny red phallus.
That's
all
penis.
my friends were laughing at me, and in a fit of embarrassment, I ran to my front door and threw it outside on the lawn, hopefully to never be seen again. The thing is, my birthday's in January. A few months after this inappropriate gift was given and then disposed of, I'd forgotten about it. That was until I got a phone call from my neighbor saying there was something on my front lawn that I should remove. I go out to find in the melting snow that used to be a tiny red phallus is now a foot-long red dildo. Embarrassment commenced once again as all 4 members of my next-door neighbors watched from their veranda as I fumbled with the slimy bugger trying to get it into a garbage bag.
Bugger, huh?
That is awesome.
That's
pretty good.
Well, you know what? For your bravo, ants.
I like your aunt.
Yeah, that's
actually,
awesome.
Yeah, get her on the show.
If I got that, I would just die laughing. I'd just be like, "This is awesome," and I'm gonna go and do something wildly inappropriate with it. So
now, you said you fumbled with it trying to get it into the garbage bag. Is that because you were using it while trying to get it in the garbage bag, and that's why you're having such a hard time?
He just didn't know what he was doing. He had practice, the first timer.
Okay. Oh, wow. You gotta break a bit somehow, right?
You don't know what's going on with all this.
I don't know what you mean. I've never held one. Go ahead. Tell me again. All right.
I imagine that's how it goes. Right?
You imagine. All right. Next up is Sleepless Night.
That's pretty bad, Yoda.
He said, I used to work in a hobby game store at one of the local malls, and one day a parent came in with a huge box of models, paints, and all the hobby stuff her son had used to own. She told us that her son had grown up, gone off to college, didn't need the stuff anymore, was just collecting dust under the bed. She gave us the box and left. There must have been at least $300 worth of product in that box, and we thought, sweet, free models. It just so happened that the boss was in that day and decided he would have first dibs picking stuff out of the box.
Of course he did.
He started going through the box, pulling out full sprues of models not even built yet, and even some metal miniatures wrapped in tissue paper. Then he pulled out another wad of tissue paper that myself and another staff member thought was much too small to be a model. The other staff member had a bad feeling about it and said, I don't know if you should open that one. The boss replied, there's another hard object in here, it's just another model. As he opened up the wad of tissue paper, he screamed and bolted out the door towards the bathroom. The prize inside this wad of tissue paper was a used condom. When the boss came back, he was shivering, and the first thing he said was, the hot water in this mall's bathroom isn't hot enough. We all agreed that the whole box was tainted and threw it all in the dumpster.
Wow. That's a pretty big sacrifice. I would think I would have kept the toys. Regardless of
the used condom?
The used condom. I put them in a dishwasher. Okay. Wow.
The hot water in the mall's bathroom isn't hot enough.
That's pretty foul.
That's pretty bad.
First of all, why
gross.
is a used condom wrapped in tissue paper? Okay, that's good enough to stop there. But then again, why is it in the hobby box of your collectibles?
The box.
And better yet, why does your mom have that?
He left it in his room after he went to college. His mom came and cleaned out his room because she was going to turn it into a sewing room or a day
okay,
room.
so you're like, oh yeah, use the condom. All right, we're wrap this in tissue. Here, Optimus Prime, hold this. You know, like, How does that happen?
It's entirely possible that he even though he was wearing the condom, he pulled out, it shot off like a rocket, and he just didn't know where it landed.
And how does the mom not look through the stuff before? Let me tell you something. If you're gonna trade something into a store, clean it up.
Wait a minute.
Look at it. Don't just randomly walk in.
Wait. No, I've got it. See, here's the thing. This story and the previous story from Yoda Soup, that's the same woman. Yoda Soup's aunt was the mom of the guy who had the box at Sleepless Night.
So it is another wildly inappropriate gift.
So she knew. Oh, she knew it was in there.
She just loves gifting.
She just dropped off that box, and while you guys were digging through it, she's standing out, peeking around the corner.
Hey,
laughing.
Yoda's aunt loves Secret Santa. Okay, that's her jam.
Speaking of jam, all right. This is from Orko. He's got 3 stories.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna do all 3.
Just go through it. Whatever.
All right. The first one was when I was a teenager. I hate to admit that in my youth I was not the smartest kid, and I had a small addiction to shoplifting.
What?
Ooh.
So did everybody.
What?
You just steal when you're younger?
What are you talking about?
And still today?
I don't know what you mean.
And still today?
Well, this particular day in the summer, I was with my sister at the local Target where I spotted some new Iron Man and Fantastic Four figures. The 94 cartoons were on full swing at the time. And being constantly low on cash, I decided to help myself to a Wizard and a Crimson Dynamo figure.
Everybody stole Wizard.
Well, being summer, I was wearing some old gym shorts, and these hidden figures were easily seen bulging in the small pockets. It was clear to my sister what I had done, especially with the witness talking about it within earshot of her. Well, she couldn't get me to admit it and was forced to take me home. Once there, I quickly ran to my toy bin and dropped them in with the other figures. My family didn't know anything about the action figures and wouldn't know what was what. However, the minute I was done, my mother came down and gave me the stare. She looked down at me and said, "Did you take those toys?" And in these days, I couldn't break free if this was a weapon and I admitted defeat. I was forced to collect every piece from the toy chest, bring them back to the store, and confess. Luckily, being underage in the early 90s meant nothing more than a stern talking to, but I had never felt so low. About a year or 2 later, I found the Wizard again in the discount bin at the local KB Toys, which had gone under that following year. I had seen both figures fairly often since this incident, but was reluctant to buy them because they constantly reminded me of the mistake I had made. But I felt I had to push past it, and at clearance prices, I couldn't pass it up.
Oh, well, I hate stealing, but it's a steal.
Well, this is so cheap, it feels like shoplifting. All right, next up. My next story was many years earlier. It was a cold winter, and being the huge Nintendo fan that I am, and hearing of this new awesome thing called the Virtual Boy, I had begged and begged to get it for Christmas. Well, my now late grandmother knew of my craving for the new thing in gaming, and on Christmas she handed me a small box that said, "I hope this is what you wanted." Now keep in mind my family was, and is still, relatively very poor. When I tore the paper open, I was a little disappointed to see not a Virtual Boy, but a common Game Boy.
Well, that's the same thing.
Well, there was no way I would let my Grandma Lundberg know of my disappointment, so I immediately tore it open and began playing Tetris. I didn't have to fake my enjoyment, however, because this was my first time playing a Game Boy, and let's just say I'm a major craver of handheld gaming now. As for the Virtual Boy, I still to this day have never held one in my hands. One day I hope to, but if I hadn't gotten that Game Boy, my life would have been very different. Yeah, you would have been blind. And have
Let me tell you
prone to
something.
headaches.
I have a Virtual Boy.
I have one too.
And it is nothing but... Okay, first of all...
It's an interesting effect. It's
two things.
Effect.
It
is fun.
It's completely awesome, and at the same time, completely dangerous to use.
You do... here's my thing. It never hurt my eyes. I never got a headache from it or anything like that. But I'll play it for 20 minutes or whatever, and then I turn and walk away, and it feels like depth now seems wrong, seems fake.
Well, I got
my depth perception is off, and I'm walking, it feels like the floor is too far away. It totally messes with.
It never hurt my eyes either, really. But it was kind of like if you're outside and it's extremely bright out, and you walk into a darker room, and you have that fuzzy photo sentences
when you walk in a movie
you still
theater
can see
after
everything
a long
around
time.
you. Everything's blurred white. You kind of get that feeling after sticking your face into this thing.
And yeah, it's so dark in there.
And you pull it out, and all of a sudden you can just see these red, like, gleams of what would have been in your face everywhere for like 20 minutes.
But some of
and
those,
I'm pretty sure that is very bad for your eyes.
But some of those games were actually pretty good.
They were fun.
Especially the Wario game and the pinball game.
They were just really cool. They're really cool. But they really are probably dangerous to your eyes, and that's why it probably didn't take off very well.
Okay.
Crash and burn.
Last story. My last story happened about 2 years ago. I was at a small vintage video game store about 20 miles from home. I try to get out there whenever I can. My constant craving for the closest thing to the vintage stuff I had back in the day kind of compels me to do so. Anyway, after about 4 years of hunting, I finally spotted a copy of an imported Metroid game. It's the Famicom Mini re-release Nintendo made a few years ago. We got something similar called Nintendo Classics, both made for the Game Boy Advance, but they were completely untouched re-releases of the original game. Anyway, I had my copy in my hand and was about to cry from joy from finding it when I saw this kid talking to the guy at the counter ahead of me. He seemed timid and real worried almost. He asked the guy if they had any Metroid stuff. I'm assuming the guy at the counter didn't count imports because he said the last copy was being held by a guy off to the side looking at the display in the counter. This little kid seemed to suck up all his courage as he walked over to the guy and asked if he could convince him to buy the copy he had. This guy just smirked and practically walked right through the kid to the guy at the counter, bought it, and walked off. He was actually laughing as he left the store. I got to admit that this almost literally made me sick. And when I looked back at the kid, I could see his heart breaking. It made me want to vomit. I almost didn't notice in my daze that I had bought my own copy of the import while all this was churning in my head. When I realized where I was, I looked down at my game. It was still in its factory wrapping. It was from Japan and had never been played. What I was planning suddenly made me just as sick, but I couldn't let myself live if I didn't do it. Before I knew it, this kid had left the store, and when my mind caught up at the moment, I ran out after him. I almost ran past him. When I spotted him out of the corner of my eye, hiding in the store alley, crying, trying like hell to be quiet about it. I walked up to him slowly, and I kneeled down to him at eye level, and I asked him, why was this game so important? He told me this was his mother's birthday the next day, and she had been a huge gamer in her day and knew this was something that would make her very happy. It took everything I had to do what I did next, but I handed him the bag, my own copy hidden inside it. I told him that I hoped the game inside would make her just as happy, and I left before he could argue with me, which I could tell he was getting ready to do, but he was still fighting with his tears. About 2.5 weeks later, I ran into the kid and his brother at the same store. The kid was still real timid, but his brother walked right up to me and asked me who I was. I honestly didn't understand what he meant because I didn't know he was the kid's brother at the time. He explained to me who he was and how his mother had cried in joy when her younger son had given the gift to him. She was definitely a gamer, but what she hadn't told her kid at the time was that she at one point visited Japan, and the first time she had played Metroid was there on the Famicom. I never saw that game again until about 6 months ago on eBay, but after seeing the joy in that little kid's eyes after hearing how happy it had made his mom, I could have lived without ever finding it again.
I don't even know what to say about that story. That is a Christmas miracle, lifetime movie, video game store movie.
It's so beautiful.
In my Christmas shoes, I said, will you buy these? Sure.
It's like with Dad's old Christmas sweater. It's the Christmas sweater.
That's a heartwarming story, Orko. And now...
You're a good person.
You're a good person or a good writer. I don't know which one, but... that story is almost...
But the story's probably fake.
It's probably...
Yeah, he just made it up.
No way
there's no way you saw him again 2 weeks later.
No way you found a Famicom game, that Metroid game. No way. That's the part that's the most unlikely in that story. Okay, wow. Huh.
So really, it comes down to...
do we want gross stories
dildos
or do we want...
or happy mommy gamer?
So it really, to me, comes down to the dildo story, the condom story, or the heartwarming Orca story, as the best 3 stories there. That's hard. Do you go for the heartwarming?
What about the broken Simpsons ones?
Oh yeah, that is horrific too.
That is.
Oh gosh, that is a good one. That is a.
Give us your funny, weird, awkward, or depressing toy buying experience below.
Okay, so none of that was funny, weird, or awkward, or depressing, Orko. But it was a good story.
But that is a good story.
You should get a reward for just that story, but I just can't give it to you for this.
It can't be the Power Rangers DVD, but I think we have to give you something. Like, that is just too nice to pass up.
We'll have to figure something out.
Well, we're going to have to dig something out of the archives, find something special. Like, because the Power Rangers...
We have that Halo prize pack that the last one that never got...
Oh, the Halo toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the person never claimed?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll send that to you.
You get, it's a Halo Mega Bloks drop pod. It was a VG Losers prize that the person never claimed because I think they lived out of the country and they just didn't want to mess with it. So
yeah. So send me an email, Orko, with your.
Oh, we've got his address somewhere, I'm sure.
I don't have it.
He sent us 300 things and we've sent him 20.
I don't have
I'm
it.
sure we got it.
I don't have it. So you guys send it to me directly so I can print off the label and ship it.
Send it to popculturenetwork.com. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Whoa.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Whoa.
I don't even know what's going on here.
Killing at popculturenetwork.com. You know this. Whatever he's doing is first time.
I'm getting over this story. Like I'm all verklempt. I'm all verklempt.
Okay. So let's try to figure it out. Dildo, condoms, or horrific girlfriend story.
Do you reward a guy for dating crazy?
That's just gonna happen. That's a legitimate fear I have, and I've actually thought about that several occasions. So, I just feel like that's not so out of ordinary for me. To me, that is like a very legitimate scare. So, it's very sucks for you in your situation, and I feel bad. I feel like we should give you something to replace your horrific loss. But at the same time, the condom thing's just gross. The most horrific to me seems like the dildo story. Because it was 2 times terrible.
It was an inappropriate gift in the first place, and then it has a funny ending.
Yeah.
That is a quintessential good story. Because you think the funny part is the fact that he gets a phallus from his aunt.
Uh-huh.
But the phallus from the ant isn't the funny part. The funny part is he throws it outside, forgets about it, the snow melts, and it makes the thing grow. Because it's a grow toy.
Right. Yoda soup, you win.
Yoda soup with your foot-long red phallus.
Yoda, send me an email, killing@popculturenetwork.com with your shipping address, and you will get the Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Season 1, Volume 2, a DVD set from Shout Factory.
Although, shout out to Mega Big John for Sleepless Night. Although, Henrik 108, you might have won if we knew what the heck 10-line college blocks are. Yeah,
we might figure that out later and be like, oh man, you should have won.
I just want to know why Falconhood is letting his son watch him play with himself in the bath. That's a little awkward.
So, a lot of good story, guys. We do appreciate you participating. We would appreciate if you would have participated the first week and not made us to extend it. But
we got some good stuff.
Yeah, that was good stuff. I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll just call that done. Yoda Soup, you are in fact the winner.
Did that lock? That did lock. All right. Should I note in the thread?
Yeah, you probably should
reply.
Yeah. So I think that'll do it for this week. Hopefully, good stories, and terrible stories, and sad stories, and uplifting stories. All in the name of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Volume 2. So, well, I guess that's it for this week. We will, of course, be with you next Wednesday with the next episode of It Figures. If you would, please visit itfigurespodcast.com for past episodes and to get any more updates on the It Figures show as it goes forward. Also, be sure to visit popculturenetwork.com to get all of our shows and columns and weekly content and updates all throughout the week. Also, visit shoppcn.com. I don't know, I thought you just said
here's the thing. We are going to be doing our holiday episode. We will be recording it on the 23rd, Sunday the 23rd. We will be recording the episode. Mm-hmm. When we leave that night, Killen is going to take it home. Mm-hmm. He's going to edit it, and he's going to put it up as soon as he can. Now, he is going to have to edit it, which will take some time. He's got to render it. It's going to take some time. Yeah. Upload it, which will take some time. And then YouTube has to process it and take some time. So sometime Monday, probably midday.
Sometime on Christmas Eve, it should be up.
So that'll go up a little early. Instead of having to wait for the day after Christmas, we're just going to put it up on Christmas Eve as soon as it's ready to go.
Yeah, that way you guys, if you're because a lot of you are going to be doing family things. We figured if we did it a little early, then you would have time to watch it before your holidays or after it, depending on your particular situation. So look forward to that. And we'll be doing, and also, if you guys want to send stuff in for us to open on camera, you can send it to us at Pop Culture Network, 1021 Junction Circle in Springfield, Illinois, 62704. Go ahead and do that now because you don't have much time before the Christmas. You probably have until about the 20th of December to send it in to make sure.
If you live close.
Yeah, if you live close to make sure we'll definitely get it. So I guess you'd have to do it before then. Probably about the 19th to be sure you get it.
Oh, yeah, because it is a Sunday.
Yeah.
And, I'll let you know that Nick Ochoa says he's got everybody beat. There's nobody that's going to be able to give gifts like what he picked out. He's got the best stuff picked out, is what he says. So, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know.
Yep, so send that stuff in. We'll open on camera. And like I said, it should be myself, Dirt, Scotty Cash, and intern Rick. Supposedly, will be there for this year's Christmas episode. Now, again, if you guys are looking for Christmas gifts, please go to shoppcn.com, where we have over 100,000 movies, video games, toys, comics, and all that great stuff that you love sitting there ready to ship to you. If you do want to get this for Christmas, make sure you do have all your orders in and placed by the 20th. We do give priority shipping, not the service priority, but first come people who order off the site get like immediate shipping over all our other websites stuff. So there's a good way to go there and get some stuff for yourself. If you have family members or people looking to buy stuff for you, you can go there and make a wish list and send it to them, and they can buy it for you and have it shipped to you. There's also gift certificates available on the website.
What?
So if you want something there and they just want to buy you a gift certificate, you can do that. See? Win-win.
Is that win-win?
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. We will see you again next Wednesday with another amazing episode of It Figures Podcast. Please visit jointheforums.com. Go to the It Figures section in the toys subcategory there, and post your questions for next week. So we have more stuff to talk about. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Used condoms.
Dildo.
Blue.